Okay, go ahead. What aspect would you like to discuss?
Well, I'm going to tell you that I started out as a Gestalt therapist, and most people don't really understand what Gestalt therapy is, because Gestalt is a German word that means literally that you can see the entire history of a human being in the here and now. And so you don't really have to talk about life in the past. What you really are looking at is how the connection between you, the client, and me, the therapist, goes. And what we're really looking for are, where are the blocks that stop the flow of communication and contact between people, or inhibit it, or literally shut it down totally. And you don't have to go back and say, this is why that happened to you, or find out that moment where trauma took place that made it hard for you to communicate. What you have to do is, in the here and now, understand that it's happening to you and decide what you feel that makes that happen. And then you have to decide if you like the results of that happening to you. And if you like it, keep it. And if you don't like it, what our job is to say, you're always going to feel those things. The feelings happen to people constantly, but you've got to have a broader range of choices than the one you have, which is a pattern that gets you nowhere. So our job is literally, as a Gestalt therapist, is to really experiment with those moments where you inhibit yourself, or you block yourself from contact with your therapist. Because if you can learn it there, you can take it out in the street and do it with anybody. And that's my job, is to get you out in the street with free-flowing life as fast as I possibly can.
And what are some of the methods involved with this therapy?
Actually, it's called phenomenology, and it really means it's my job to watch like a hawk, you, as a client, so that I can see, oh, there's that moment, I just lost contact with you. What just happened? What did you just feel? What were you doing or thinking that made you go away from me? And then what we're really looking for is for you to, in the moment, be aware enough of yourself to know that that feeling arises, and you to be able to make a choice about whether you're going to go away or you're going to stay.
And how would a person know if this type of therapy would be beneficial to their healing?
Well, it would be beneficial, period, because most people are so unaware of what's happening to them that that we're all totally unaware, most of us. And so we're totally controlled by our patterns and our feelings. And we get messes before we know it. And we get really familiar messes because they're comfortable to us. Often we marry our worst partner because, oh my God, I recognize this incredible pattern and I'm comfortable in it. Well, that doesn't mean it's good for you because you're comfortable in it, and it doesn't mean you're going to change because you're comfortable in it. It means you're going to actually replicate the same thing that's always been happening to you. And so everybody in the world could use Gestalt therapy simply because awareness is what everybody needs of their own being.
And would it involve office appointments and dialogue, or what kind of?
Sure it does. It'd be very hard to notice phenomenon that's happening right in front of you if you weren't in the office or we weren't somewhere. But you do have that, therapeutic appointments, and most people think they're there to problem solve, but I'm there to process solve, actually, so that you can solve any problem you want to solve with your life if you have a process that functions.